Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. I'm going to give people a chance to join us. I know that we just kicked off, and usually it takes a few minutes for people to join. And let me just make sure I'm going to do a sound check. Let me check the comments board, the chat box. If you're in the room, please say hello. I've got my good friend Fausto here with me. So let me see if we are live on YouTube as well. Just give me a second. Yes, we are live on YouTube, on X, and then I think we're going to come on live on Instagram soon. So I see some people joining already, which is fantastic. There's so much to talk about today. As I said, I'm Kathy Lean. I'm here with Fausto, who is an expert in day trading. If you're in the room, say hello. Let me know where all of you are coming from. We will kick off in just a second. Fausto, do you want to do a sound check to make sure?
I hear you loud and clear. Everybody hear me okay? I think everything's going well.
Fantastic. So you look good. You sound good. I don't normally host people on our live stream, so I am delighted and honored to have Fausto here. Hello, Kelvin. Hello, Atbox. Where are you from, Pradeep and Kelvin? Let us know where you're coming in from. It's 2:00 in the afternoon in New York. The markets are, usually not as active during this time of day, so we can relax, talk about trading. Fausto's here to talk about the election, the bulls, and the ballots, and how to really take advantage of all of that. And
not the ballots. I don't know if I could take advantage of the ballot.
that is very, very true. Wow. Atbox Asia, it is 2:00 in the morning out there, isn't it, for you? Okay. So as I said, I have known Fausto for a very, very long time. And we've worked together, but we've always while we're both, very much focused on trading, day trading, coming from the institutional space. We've all come from it we both come from it from a very different perspective. Fausto is focused on equities. As you all know, I am focused on currencies and Forex. So it's, two different worlds, but two different worlds that are still, very, very interconnected. And the stories that move the stock and the stock markets are the same stories that in many ways move the Forex market. And many of you have shared your interest with me in, learning how to day trade stocks. Fausto has been all over NVIDIA and, a lot of exciting names like that. And he's got a well-honed tactic on how to day trade. But before we get into it, let's talk. Fausto, if you believe it or not, actually lives less than 5 minutes from me, which, considering that we both live in the suburbs of New York, is very, very close. But Fausto, how long have you been trading equities for? Have you always been day trading stocks? Or
well, I probably know you for about maybe it's got to be 15 years, 20 years now, probably. Time flies. I mean, I've been doing it since 95, so I've been trading equities ever since. One of the original day traders that started. And, Kathy, nothing really has changed till now, other than let's work out of our house now. We have to go work on the floor anymore. We have to go and commute to the city. That's why you and I are in the suburbs now, So, it's changed, but it's changed for the better. And that's what the listeners have to understand, that you could actually, you don't have to be registered anymore like we used to. Ticket charges are cheap now, and just everything is just more convenient.
So when you were trading on Wall Street, were you working on the floor? Were you working at the on a trading desk of one of the firms?
I was working on a trading desk. I was more of a market maker. So you had the New York Stock Exchange where people work on the floor and the CBOE, but on the NASDAQ exchange, you work in it's all electronic. There's no physical location. So I worked more on the desk side.
As far as I understand, Fausto, and correct me if I'm wrong, you trade very much on order flow, right?
Correct.
So has that really changed since you were a market maker at the beginning of your career? Has that really changed, throughout the 30 years that you've been trading for?
Well, the big thing has changed. We went from fractions. I was teaching math classes to decimals, right? And then what ended up happening was a lot has changed because people probably don't realize this, but back then you would see brokerage firms' names on level 2 quotes. Now you don't see them anymore. They came out with these things that are called ECNs, which I kind of helped pioneer. And I'm on NASDAQ all the time talking about it. They had to trade on their exchange. So basically, the only thing that has changed more is that you don't have to be licensed. You can have full access, direct access to the exchanges, and that pretty much does it. Order flow is still the same. High frequency is still the same. Algorithms are there, dark pools. Some people say, what about AI? Basically, that is AI, kind of more think of for itself. But nothing really has changed that much other than things like
you would say that the high frequency and algorithms, their contribution to markets have been consistent from I guess 95, 2000 all the way to today. Do you see any increased activity on their end that's apparent?
A lot of it, because what happened was that once they closed out all these trading firms that don't really exist anymore, like having a seat on the exchanges wanted the general public to have access to it, because the more people trade, the more money they make. So it did cause a lot more liquidity. It did cause a lot more action in the market. So, and now brokerage firms have to adapt to it. But the difference is now is they don't advertise their names as much. They just route them through exchanges.
What's really interesting for our listeners out there is that I've talked to a lot of traders, and what I found is that what you started trading in terms of your strategy and your technique is in many ways the same way you're trading now, especially when it comes to professional traders. Like Fausto, for example, started off trading order flow, and he's still to some degree still trading that now. I started off trading fundamentals and cross-market correlations, and I still do that today. And I think that it's really fascinating that when you all are learning about trading, it's important to find that strong foundation, that strong base, because that is what believe it or not, is going to probably carry you through to your more lasting trading career, because there's so much noise, there's so much strategies, there's so many time frames, there's so many products, and every single one of them you could probably make money from, right, Fausto?
But you just got to find your style. Like,
yes.
It's just what works for you. I mean, and that's why I always tell everybody, I do exactly what you do in a way. I tell everyone, you got to try a little bit of everybody's stuff, because listen, probably a nice person, whatever, but it just doesn't work for you. You know what I mean? Like, listen, we all like a car, but like some people like BMW, some people like Mercedes. Like, why you like Mercedes? You can try, I don't know, it's not my style. Some people like, hot rods, some, but it's at the end of the day, it's a car, right? Just got to find what works for you. And it's not that hard. Just got to kind of just be more routine and get used to it. The big thing that you and I have a lot in common, though, even though we trade different markets, that everyone here to understand, is that we trade about 85% of the same. And a lot of it is a lot of psychology, like anything else, a lot of discipline, just know how to controlling losses more than less. But, changing different markets is pretty much not, it's what you like.
Yeah, and Fausto is definitely someone you want to listen to, because he's done a lot of training for the people in the NASDAQ. I believe in the CME as well. Am I correct?
I've done them all. Even hedge funds I've trained for. Because listen, it's a different animal. Like I was just talking to financial plan the other day. They take my classes, I take yours, because it's a different. Listen, I was a broker. And what I've learned, I didn't like it, but what I've learned, and I just learned that being in that industry, the people that do well, the trading department, when I learned in the trade department, my God, it's like a totally different animal. Everybody likes to read on what's on the left of the chart. I teach people what's on the right of the chart.
So that's all we want to know, right? What's going to be in the right of the chart. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the elections. It is, hands down, one of the major event risks that's going to be affecting the markets in the next couple of weeks. And, between that as well as the tensions in the Middle East, everyone is kind of grappling with trying to figure out how to effectively trade the markets. So, I think, one of the things I want to first ask you is, how many elections have you traded through? And, do you feel like your experience is really different from one versus the other?
I've traded since, like I said, I've traded through so many elections, going back since, 95. So I don't know how many elections that probably is right now. It's every 4 years. But, I find that like last year, like when Trump, the year before when Trump won back in 2000, one thing I did notice is that the S&P 500 dropped almost like 600 points like that, and then it bounced right back up, which I never seen before when they made that announcement. Going into like this election and everything else, I mean, listen, I don't believe 80% of what they tell you, right? They tell you what they want you to hear, but but if you see what's happening with certain stocks, you believe me, they kind of will lean towards what they're actually preaching. Like, if it's the Green New Deal, it's EVs, or, they made those things, those stocks take off, charge points, stuff like that. Or if it's military, I mean, like, listen, we're having a situation right now. You see the war, it's going on in Israel. We've been all over Lockheed Martin. People are like, why would you trade Lockheed Martin? I'm like, well, everything else that's happening. It's a year in the war and everything. Meanwhile, the stock's up almost 100%. So you just got to kind of trade more or less what's happening, at that moment in time. That's why day trading is so important, because, you can't be sleep behind the wheel and say, oh, look back at tomorrow, whatever. It's the current events that happen that will trickle into those swing trades and those long-term trades.
That's really good advice. And so let me hand the reins over to you to elaborate that even more and talk about how you can trade the current events, and talk about how you can turn some of these big stories like elections, the Middle East crisis, along with, the movements in Lockheed, and how you can teach people to translate that into trading opportunities that they can look for every single day. So let me give you the screen, and you can share your wisdom with everyone in the room.
Sure, no problem. Let me get a couple of slides here and just print this up, and let me share.
And if you guys got questions, feel free to drop them in the box. Fausto can see them, I can see them. And, for those of you that are just joining us, Fausto is my good friend, and he's an expert at day trading stocks, and all of the big stories, including the election, along with, the what's happening in the Middle East. So he's going to share with you his, strategies of the trade.
Yeah, just could everyone see my screen okay?
Not yet. I'm going to, you might want to hit the present button.
All right, let's go with that.
It's on the bottom of the screen.
There we go. All right. Could everybody see that okay?
Yes.
Let me chat back. It looks like we could see it okay. All right. So basically, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about the strategy behind the trading part of it, so everybody can understand about, what is, and you could apply this to anything. All right. So I'm going to talk about how to identify false breakouts, avoid traps in the market, meaning how they do reverse psychology. I'll talk about the high frequency trades, all that stuff. So let's go right to live to the market, and let me show you what we got going on here. There we go. There we go. All right. So there were a couple of stocks that moved pretty big today. Here's one of them that you could see here is on the biggest percentage gainer. So what we kind of teach our traders what to do is we really don't care what we trade. We just want to make money, right? It's all about risk to reward. So here's a big stock that's moving, Wheeler. It started this morning around 10 o'clock, ran from $8 up to 16. Now, everyone here is probably asking, well, why did it go up that much? Who ran it up that much? How would you know? Why did it stop here? Why did it stop down there? Well, there are these things that are called future orders, future block orders. And, I'm going to show you to you in about a minute, but I want to show you something a little bit easier. Let me show you. Give me a second here. Let me find something a little bit more of a brand name stock so you guys are very familiar with that had a big move today. All right. This actually is a pretty good one. Let's look at Tesla. So everybody saw Tesla today, and Tesla took a big dive, went from like 257, dropped all the way down to here to 240.42, and went right back up to 245. So I want to show you something. Why did the stock stop at $242? Can anybody answer that question? Why did it stop here at 242? What do you think? Anybody know? Anybody could take a wild guess? Buyers, right? Someone must have bought it there. So I'm going to bring this over here to you. I want to show you this right here. This is called level 4. Now, like Kathy was just trying to tell you, I teach order flow, and you could see how the stock took a big dive and you can see this big red line right here. See this little orange line right there on the right-hand side. This is where it says COB, means current order book. And you could see that there was about 100,000 share buyer at 240. There was another 54,000 share buyer at 242, another 37,000. So you're talking literally about maybe close to 200,000 shares are going to be bought right around between 242 and 240. Now, there was no buyers that showed up until then, and that's the reason why. And then you could see it came to this big resistance levels around 250. It hit it, and now it's backing off. So what you're reading is big block orders, just like NVIDIA. I'll bring up NVIDIA here. NVIDIA, for some of you who don't know this, there is a 2.3 million share seller at 130, 1.2 million share seller at 135, 1.9 million share at 140, 1.5 million share at 150. Now, where are the support levels? I don't see any buyers till 100 and then 90. Now, this is going to be the cool thing I want to show everyone. Watch this. I'm going to bring up the video over here. Okay. And let's see if you guys could see. Let me see if I could do this so you guys could see a little bit better. Why can't I get this? I want to split the screen. Okay. Move this over here. So if I drew my trend lines, oops, hold on. Put this over here. Yeah, this should work. Okay. All right. So if I draw a trend line there, 240, 235, 230. What do we got? 100. 90. You could see all the supports and resistance levels just by seeing where you are. Now, what makes those support and resistance levels? Those buyers and sellers. So if you notice, we have it backwards. If you heard what I said earlier to Kathy, everybody here is looking at a chart on the left, right? I am looking on it on the right. And the right are the future orders. Now, did I get everyone's attention? Okay, great. So let me show you a couple of things that are going to go on right now. All right. Now, before we move forward, just to let you know, like Kathy said, I've been doing this for 35 years. We do a lot of coaching. We do, I traveled around the world. I've been featured on almost every financial station in the industry. But before I move forward and kind of go over that, I want to give you my book for free. So if anyone here would like to receive my book, if everyone would just take down this email address, FaustoPSC2corp.com. Let me just go in there and see if I can put it in there. I think I could put it in there. Yep. There we go. There's my email address. Just send out an email to FaustoPC2Corp. You could pay me $45 at Amazon or I give it to you for free. Okay. And it's a good quick read. It's a fast read. It's color. I'll show you more diagrams like this that I'm showing you in the market because I only have about 30 minutes to talk to. And I really can't teach how to trade in 30 minutes. Okay. But I'm going to do the best that I can. Now, 5 major events shock the market right now. You got the Israel and Iran, war that's going on right now. And you saw what happened yesterday. You have lower interest rates that came up. You had a shipping port strike that's going on right now. You have the hurricane that's going on. I mean, it's like the end of the world. Like everything is just going crazy, right? I mean, it's just absolutely nuts. A lot of stuff that's going on. And everything, usually, I don't think Kathy's have even seen this too. I mean, we've known each other. I've never seen so many multiple things happen at once. Oh, and then what else? The election, right? So you got 5 big things that we're talking about that affecting certain stocks in the market. And you as traders need to be prepared on certain catastrophes and opportunities that will help you control your stocks and obviously how to prepare for the future. And I know everyone knows what I'm talking about when, how these things could affect your trading because you all lived it through it. If you're new to trading, you saw what happened with COVID. If you go back to me, as Kathy said, how many elections you done? How about, everything else, the financial crisis? What about Hurricane Sandy? What about 9/11? There are so many things, but there are stocks that are going to get affected by it. For example, let's look at this. Home Depot and Lowe's. What does they have to do with it? Well, I lived through Hurricane Sandy. Okay. Some of you probably lived through a hurricane. Some people are from different parts of the world. You probably don't know what happened, but not only the devastation and the death, but these companies are going to benefit from it because why? People have to go shopping and they have no choice, but they have to go fix their home, right? They need to buy plywood. They need to buy nails. They need to buy central air conditioning. It just, you know what? If it's not broke, don't fix this. Well, guess what? It's broken. They got to fix it. Where are they going to go? Places like this. These stocks have started making big moves already. Okay. I personally bought them already. I own Lowe's, a little bit cheaper, but could buy more of it. That's something else we'll talk about strategy. UPS, FedEx, they're getting affected by it. Okay. So it could be with the strike. It could be because they can't do shipping. It could be multiple things. The war, Lockheed Martin did great. RTX did great. All right. When that war came into effect, I mean, just yesterday alone was up 25 points. If you're for the war or against the war or don't even care, listen, as traders, we're the same. We have to think the same. And there are going to be opportunities out there because if you were short the stock, because you could say, you know what? I'm anti-military. I don't believe in spending money on these companies. This is ridiculous. The company's trading that much. Okay, great. You know what? Short it then and see how that worked out for you. You can't let your personal emotions and feelings affect your trading because that's where you get hurt. Now, let's talk about some of the tools that we use that are going to teach us how to use these types of trading. So, for example, we have here two different tools. We have the NASDAQ book viewer, and we're going to talk about level 4. And we'll talk a little bit level 4 a little bit later in another few minutes, but I kind of just showed you a little brief piece of it. But I want to start off with something that I'm going to leave all of you here with where you can get it, which is the NASDAQ exchange. Now, remember when Kathy was asking me, Fausto, how did you get started? I actually helped, how can I say it? I was one of the beta testers, the guinea pigs that helped build this platform, okay, over 30 years ago. Back then it was called Island. And the thing is this is a seat on the exchange. You could see every single order out there in the entire market, okay? Now we're going to focus on the stocks, but the other one, you could use it towards futures. You could use it towards cryptocurrency. You could use it towards options, whatever it may be. But right now, we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to talk about stocks. Okay. So now what we have here is on the left-hand side, you have buyers. And on the right-hand side, you have all the sellers. You're seeing every buyer and every seller that want to trade NVIDIA. Not only that, but you're seeing all the orders. You're seeing every single share at every single price. Now, the way it works is this. I know it might look confusing, but it's really not because 95% of this you don't need to pay attention to. And I'll show you in the next couple of slides. But basically what you're looking here is whoever wants to buy the stock for the most amount of money is up on top. Whoever wants to buy for less money is down at the bottom. Whoever wants to sell their shares for the least amount of money is up on top. Whoever wants to sell their shares for more money is down at the bottom. So you're looking at what's called a negotiated market. You're looking at, you have a seat on the exchange where you can see every order around the entire world, what they want to buy to sell these stocks for. Now, how do we use this data? This is what I want to show you. This is where things start getting very interesting. So we're looking at Tesla again. And you could see Tesla started this morning and ran from like 229, dropped all the way down to 227, and then shot up to 230. Now, why did it stop at 227? Why not 225? Why not 229? Why did it pick 227? Well, the reason why it stopped there is not that it was a support level, because support levels don't exist unless there must have been buyers out there. So when we go here on the level, on what I call level 3, which is called NASDAQ Book Viewer, you look yourself on the buy side, and you'll notice right over here, which is pretty small, but I blew it up here up on top, you got about 217,000 shares that are looking to be bought at 227. Now, when you look down that list, you'll see there's 1,000 share buyers, 2,000 share buyers, whatever it may be, 3,000. Is that a lot? You know what? 1,000 shares for you and I to dish out $250,000, probably it is a lot. But when you do the math and you see 217,000 times 227, you're talking over $50 million is looking to be bought at that price. So it kind of like scratches everything out. Like, who the hell cares about a 250,000 share buyer? You're talking 50 million. That's a big difference. So once again, what are you reading? The right of the chart. And the right of the chart are the orders. The left of the chart is what happened in the past. And the only way the past can be indicative of the future if those orders are out there that we see. Now let's go look on the resistance levels. Here we have a stock that went from 35.80 up to about 37 and came back down to 36. Now, you know as well as I do, there are times you say, damn it, I wish I sold it sooner. What drove the stock down? What drove it down is the 167,000 shares are looking to be sold, on the exchange. Now, let's clear this out. And I don't know. I like doing this because sometimes when you start calculating and like, is it really a lot? Well, $6 million worth of stock versus, I don't know, 1,500 shares I see someone there looking to buy times 36, or 37, whatever, simple math. 55,000, big difference. 6 million, 55,000. I think I'm going to follow the $6 million out there that are looking to be sold. And not only that, but that 167,000, that's being aggregated with 65 different orders around the entire world. So please keep in mind that that's just not one person. And that's not one guy that's playing it, because people always ask me, oh, how do I know that's a real order? Unless there's 65 people lying, okay, it's real. First of all, you can't put fake orders out there in exchanges, okay? No brokerage firm will allow you to do that. And if you do find one, please tell me, because I'll be a billionaire, maybe even a trillionaire. But no, those are real orders, and that's made up of all different people out there. Now let's go over some other examples we did this week. EVGO was a good stock. Here it went from 164 all the way down to 162. All right. Now, the thing is this. You own a stock. It's going down. Got to have a game plan. And your game plan is you got to know where the order's out there, because it doesn't matter what you and I think. It matters what they think. So you got to know where the buyers are and you got to know where the sellers are. All right. So when we go over here down at 162, you'll see that there's a 95,000 share buyer out there. Now, there are 200 share buyers, 400 share buyers, 1,000 shares. Oh, it went up. You're talking 95,000. That's almost like 1,000 times more than any other order out there. And that's a support level. And if you didn't know that, look what happened. The stock made a bounce right from here. It shot up from 162 right up to 165. Don't tell me that never happened to you, because it probably happened all the time. And you probably just didn't know it. And the only reason why you didn't know it, because you didn't look at the right of the chart. You're too focused on the left of the chart. Now, what happened? How about when a stock hits a top, right? And stock's going up and whatever. Okay, so listen. Good traders always have to have a game plan. You got to know where to take a profit, right? At all times. And there's always going to be a resistance level. So when you look at a stock like this, you're like, okay, I own Apple. It's going up. Okay, well, where's it going? 125, 130, 300. Where? Only one way you can figure that out. You got to know where the street is. Don't focus on Main Street. Focus on Wall Street. And Wall Street tells me here that there are 17 orders that are looking to be sold at $221.60, that it equals 122,000 shares. Now, is that a lot? Well, majority of the orders are out there are 400, 300, 600. Who do you think is going to know more? Your 100 share seller or the 122,000 share sellers of 17 people out there? Because you can't see that on a chart. And by the time you do, it's probably usually too late. Like I said, don't focus on the left of the chart. Focus on the right of the chart. And the right is the future. And the future is, where are the limit orders? Where's the program trading? Where are the algorithms? Right there. Now, here at Cybertrade University, we call these iceberg orders, big block orders. That's basically what they are. So with those big block orders, we just know listen, if anyone's familiar with the Titanic, the whole story about the movie, what happened? It crashed into an iceberg and all those wonderful people died. Okay. The unsinkable ship. That's why they call it the Titanic. Well, fortunately, didn't work too well when you hit an iceberg. And I don't think anybody here wants to hit an iceberg. So the only way you know about hitting an iceberg is not to be what most people do, is look what's on top of the water, is having the right tools so you can see what's on the bottom of the water, because that's how big and massive an iceberg could be. Now, who here would like to get and sample BookViewer and try to apply it today, right? So this is what I want you to do. Here's my email, Fausto PSCTU Corp. I'm not going to tell you where to get it on NASDAQ, because what I end up doing is you'll get it. You probably buy the wrong one. You don't have the right layouts, everything. So what I like to do is I have 2 videos I like to give to you. When you email me, I will personally email you back once we're done today. And you're going to watch these 2 videos, and they're about 5 minutes long. Just make sure that you purchase the right one, and make sure you have the default set up. Now, the word people say, wait, purchase? You didn't say anything about purchase. Well, let me tell you something. When I started, I had to pay $1,000 for this stuff 30 years ago. Today it costs $15. I mean, listen, you're risking thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to have a seat on the exchange. We had to pay, some people paid millions of dollars to have a seat, and they make a single penny. Today it costs you $15. I think that's a good deal. But before you even buy anything, make sure you email me now before you forget. And, and basically, so this is how you do it. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to email myself. Where we go? New, send myself an email. And just write this, Fausto. My email already came up, Fausto P. And just say, send me book or level 3. And then also make sure you put your name here so I know who your name, so I know who to call you. Fausto, whatever it is. And just hit send, and I'll get that alert right now. All right. And I'll take care. Once we're done, I'll send it over to you guys. All right. Now, regarding about level 4, there is another level. So what's this all about? Well, level 4 is basically, excuse me, you get everything that you're getting level 3, which is the current order book, but now you're getting to see it on a heat map. So now you get to see a little bit more, like a chart. You get to see all those orders everywhere. So it's a little bit better, and it kind of helps you a little bit more of seeing where the orders are and so on. So let's look at a couple of examples. Does anyone here have any stocks you want to look at? Let me change this over here. Anybody have any stocks? Well, we'll start off with what's a good stock to trade? NVIDIA? We already talked about NVIDIA, right? We'll bring it up again because maybe you need to hear it again. So if you're a swing trader, right, you could see right here, you could see all the orders, and now you know how to have a game plan. Long term. Short term, you want to see orders? Let's say you're day trading it. We zoomed out. Now you can see, there's a 300,000 share seller here at 120. Kind of makes sense because since this morning it didn't go anywhere. You see it stuck here between 119 Never want to go past that. And you could see here that it had a big support level, 115, for about 400,000 shares, you know? And if you want to kind of even zoom in a little bit more, kind of get a little bit more of a perspective, a better perspective, you could kind of even see a little bit more. You got 100,000 here, 119, another 120, but the real big one of 300 is at 120. You know, pretty much kind of makes it easier to understand, right? Tesla. Let's look at Tesla. So here we have Tesla. Stock came down. Big support levels here at 240. You could see big resistance levels here at 265. Now, 250 to 265 is a very big difference. But let's say you're day trading it. You want to get a little bit better, a closer view of it. You could see orders here. Now, what happens? You're not going to see the bigger orders, but now you'll see the little bins, the little orders. But at least you could see where the 20,000 share sellers are, the 30,000 share sellers, not those 200 and 300 share sellers out there. All right. Let's do one more. Let's see. So here's a stock that was in our watch list. Now, I'm going to invite all of you here. Let me show you what we got going on over here. Here's a stock that, here's our trading room, by the way. Okay. So I'm going to invite all of you guys to come in the trading room. And these are all our instructors on the left. And these are all our traders right here on the left-hand side. I mean, everyone's going to have access to it. It's in the middle of the day, so it's kind of slow. Right now, we only have about 179 people that are in the trading room. But what I want to show you is this right here. So here's our watch list. And, you know, and you could see here from that watch list, all those stocks that are on there. And the one I wanted to point out was TOPS. See TOP, Tesla, all these stocks, Joby, they're all in here. And when you look at it, here's TOPS. So by the way, what time was that in the morning? 9, you see it right here? 9:17. 9:17 was here when the stock was $2. It ran all the way to 320. Now, some of you might look at it like, oh, I'm going to trade these inexpensive stocks. Listen, if you made $1, do you even care what the company does? $1 on 1,000 shares, $1,000. You do it every day. It's a $250,000 salary. Do you really care? Do you really, really care? Okay. Because if you want, Tesla was on the list right there. And why was on the list? Because it was getting beat up. And if you jumped in this morning, yeah, you could have shorted at 250, covered here at 140. But you know what? If you can't afford Tesla, why not trade ETF at $13? Did you know there was ETFs on it? There was a lot of ETFs on it. So these are the things that you have to look at as traders. It's all about learning how to play the game. And the game is, if you know where the buyers and sellers are, you just got to know where if you know what the stock's moving, you just got to know where the buyers and sellers are. That's basically it comes out to it. Now, that pretty much does it. Let me just move this over here really quick and put this down over here. So there are different levels out there that you could trade, level 3 and level 4, and that's basically following order flow. Now, if you guys want to see some more of it, you could follow me on YouTube. You could follow me on Instagram. We got hundreds of thousands of followers. I do post just like Kathy does almost every day. I'll show you live examples of them. So I got really nice, quick little shorts if you want to see some things that are happening, some current events. And if anybody wants to come join my trading room, just take your phone, scan the QR code right there on the screen. All we ask is for a $9 donation, so we know who you say you are. Money back guaranteed. You're going to get the trading room for a week. You're going to get workshops, traders talk. And if everyone here does register, I'll personally talk to you on the phone, because the reason why I would like to talk to you is that if this is something serious that you want to do, I love teaching people. And I know Kathy does too. And everyone probably always asks her, says, hey, you guys probably do so well. Why do you teach? Well, listen, the market has always been great to us. And we always feel like we want to give back. We just know people lose money in trading, and we don't like seeing it. It's a 90% failure rate. So if you want to be part of that 90% failure rate, you got to learn before you can earn. And that's why I'm here, because I want to give back, make sure you guys know what you're doing. And I don't think a lot of you knew that this even existed, but it does. So worst thing could happen is that you learn something. All right. That pretty much does it, Kathy. You know, I mean, like, listen, you got my book. You got those videos if you want to get that. And if they want to join the trading room for a week, they could join us for $9.
This, is an incredible opportunity. Thank you so much, Fausto. You guys have listened to a legend, and he is, giving you the opportunity to take a deeper look into how he trades every single day for, I guess, here just $9, which is pretty much the cost of a venti pumpkin latte these days.
Venti.
Yes, well, it is a venti, right? You can't pay $9 for a
You know why they call it venti?
What's
you know
that?
You know why they call it venti?
I'm not sure why.
Venti in Italian means 20. That's the number 20. It's 20 ounces, so it's called venti.
Now you learn something every day, right? I didn't know that it was named after the number of ounces. But thank you so much for joining us, Fausto. I hope you all enjoyed today's share by Fausto, and hit him up. Definitely scan that QR code and take advantage of this great offer that he's offering all of you guys.
You just get the book and stuff, or just try to get the videos to watch the NASDAQ. But for $9, you can't go wrong.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thanks for having me, Kathy, and look forward to you. Enjoy your trip. And everyone else, listen, you got to learn before you can earn. All right, guys? So be very safe. We got some crazy things that are going on the market now. And, you really got to know what's going on. You got to surround yourself with good traders. So make sure you learn, like I said, before you earn. Good luck, everyone. Thanks for having me, Kathy. And look forward to talking to you guys again. See you all in the trading room.